Welcome back, everybody, to our Crypto Spiritual Weekly with Jona, Bryndis, your energy coach and energy trainer here for cryptocurrencies. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for watching either live right now or in the edited video that I'm going to put out here into the Crypto Spiritual group, as well as my YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, I strongly recommend it to you, and push the subscribe and the alarm button. That will actually inform you when these new updates are posted. As of right now, I'm doing the weekly here in video form, and I do a Crypto Spiritual Daily in the open Facebook group called Crypto Spiritual. All right. Well, let's look at week 5 here, starting tomorrow, January 26th till February 1st. Many of you know me from the energy updates that I do on a weekly basis, talking about collective energies for energetically sensitives and empaths. And over time, I've source more or less the crypto news, because they made the energy updates so long. And I would really like to take the opportunity to talk about a few deeper subjects here with you without feeling that I have to hurry up too fast. So today we're going to cover a little bit of a review of last week. Then we're going to go into one specific subject. This week I would like to cover ICOs, initial coin offerings, with you, and what the meaning is of this, and how you can do research, especially if you're new to the cryptosphere. And then I'm going to go into the forecast with this experimental crypto spiritual barometer that I came up with, which gives us a little bit of a taste of what to expect energetically here for the crypto market. And once more, the reason why I'm calling this crypto spiritual and why I'm bringing in sort of this energetic view of things is because I can, is because this is my job. I'm an energy trainer and energy coach, and I have a thing for IT. I come out of this initial long time ago movement of decentralized and open source programming, and so naturally I gravitate towards the crypto market now, as I'm seeing a lot of these really cool energies that came in 35 years ago resurfacing. I'm also seeing, of course, the context here with collective energies and this transitory state that we are in as a society, as the whole human race, so to speak, reflected in the crypto market. And I've explained this before, mainly because the crypto market is different from the like, say, the stock market, because you have a more of a grassroots movement here. So up until now, it was basically all just crazy IT people, or people who had extremely well-defined visionary abilities, who could see the potential in the cryptocurrency or blockchain technology. So here we are now at a point in this transition where we come from or move from the innovator state in the early adapter state. So the innovator state is usually the threshold of 2.5% of the population. Those are people who can see, you know, things become really important in the future. The early adapters, the next sort of 17.5%, are the people that believe in it, that can see this working, and that can trust in it. And we have not even reached that potential yet. Okay, so we're still in the birthing state of a lot of the birthing of the application, and so there's a lot of opportunity here for many of us who can feel this already, that this is where this is going. And one of the major predictions for this year here is, of course, that we're going to hit the buying pressure of these early adapters coming in now in 2018, which makes 2018 a pivotal year for those of you who can already sense this. All right, so there really isn't a lot of mistakes that you can do other than overreacting and buying into fear. And we talked a lot about the FUD in the past, you know, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and how as the smart money, as the big money, you know, the stock market money is shifting into the cryptocurrency market, and as governments and regulatory entities try to get hold of all this market cap or that is flowing into cryptocurrencies, and try to create, of course, consumer safety, which is needed, you know, but also tax regulations and so forth. And this is the general situation that we are in. We're dealing with currently a market capitalization of like roughly 40 billion US dollars, which is not even 1% of the total capital that will flow into the crypto market over the next couple of years. And so those of you who are already in this sphere, for you, really, the main task is to not buy into, you know, these FUDs. And this reviewing last week was more or less the main theme as predicted. There's a power struggle going on. There is a push-pull going on. There is news coming in from the mainstream media now, you know, denouncing cryptocurrencies as a bubble or as a dangerous thing to invest into. Governments issue contradictory messages. Yes, they're going to outlaw it. No, they're going to legalize it. No, it's actually really all just about the regulations. It's really all about weeding out sort of the scammers in that sphere, and then only to defud their own messages a couple days later. And this is basically what we've experienced last week, this predicted sideways motion, you know, of market cap, and also, of course, the Bitcoin price. And I'm going to talk about Bitcoin here in a little bit, and the significance for the market as an indicator. But coming back to last week, those of you who just basically slept through last week and didn't even pay attention to any of the movements, you may not really find a lot of change. Okay, so there's a slight decrease in in total market cap, but what happened in this week was a steady up and down, and this is something where your guys's inner steadfastness and your belief in, and I'm not talking about faith, I'm talking about, you know, your vision really needs to guide you into not going with all these ups and downs. It can drive you nuts. It can drive you into fear and all kinds of things, you know, that can come out of this going with every single movement of this 24/7 market. All right, so don't forget, we're dealing with all different kinds of time zones and rhythms that are starting to form. So what I'm trying to do here with the crypto spiritual point of view is, of course, since this is in the birthing stage, I'm actually trying to make out patterns for myself, which means, you know, like even if you know the patterns that exist in the stock market, this doesn't entirely count for the crypto market. However, with the smart money moving in, and this is something that we could observe clearly last week, is that some of the outer aspects that are now moving into the crypto market that we didn't have last year, such as the Bitcoin derivatives, the Bitcoin futures that are being traded at some of the exchanges. And one of the biggest exchange or market influencing place is the CME, and the CME is contracts for this month. They're going to expire today. They actually expire today, and so everybody was kind of looking at how this is going to work out. Is the future market actually manipulating the cryptocurrency course or not? I've seen some really cool opinions about this, and there's a lot of indication that it does, all right, because we still have a relatively small market capitalization compared to, like, say, the stock market. And so if there are big movers in the field, they can manipulate the price down. For example, if the futures or the future contracts that they had previously bought betted on a lower Bitcoin price. And so we are suspecting that there's this push and pull going on. However, one of my main observations here is that what is really missing here is, since the beginning of January, or kind of like the middle of December, towards the end of December, is the grassroots money, you know, the people like you and I, you know, that can really see the great innovation through blockchain technology. We have been scared off a little bit through this volatility. As soon as this trust into the vision of blockchain technology is reinstated, the manipulation that can come in from the outside through smart money is going to go back down again. So the overall observation that we can make here is that the crypto market wants to go into recovery. It always bounces back. It usually doesn't take more than 24, 72 hours after one of these FUD news have hit the media. So there is a tendency going back into where it was and higher. It's just not really coming through yet. So we're looking at at Bitcoin as sort of the main indicator for the health of the market, as wanting to go in recovery but not fully there yet, which is why my prediction for this next week is still the same as it was last week, more or less. Continued volatility and a continued sideways motion. All right, and hang on a second, if you're hearing snoring in the background, that's my dog. Okay, so let me wake him up here. All right, so this is maybe not a very satisfactory outlook, but it's the reality of where we're at right now. And let me emphasize here right now that the reason why I'm doing this live is for you to comment and for you to ask questions. So please take advantage of this. There will be an edited version of this video planted here in Facebook and YouTube, but for those of you actually who take the time to come here, you know, please comment. All right, and I'd love to hear where you're watching or listening from, because that always allows us to see that we're not so isolated in our views, and within the crypto world, this also shows us how global you know, this ecosystem is. But anyway, coming back to the what to expect next week, here my crypto spiritual barometer for next week. This is divided into sort of a subjective type of gauge, indicating the intensity, and with the intensity in this part of the financial market, also the volatility, meaning, you know, the potential ups and downs. So you see, it's not all the way in the really bad sort of red area, but it's in you know, it's going to go up and down. And if you don't want to have a nervous breakdown, then I recommend you to use this time here until at least 9th of February. This is what I'm seeing, until which this will continue to strengthen your inner bullshit detector, to strengthen your discernment of what you are actually seeing when you're looking at market coin, you know what I mean, the overview of all the token courses, you know, what you're seeing there on a daily or hourly basis, and that is an emotional reaction to, you know, news or to a certain distractions that are being put in to the market to destroy or disrupt trust. Now, when I'm talking about the discernment, and when I'm talking about strengthening your inner bullshit detector, what I mean with this is to really go into the place of your inner truth, all right? And there are some things, of course, that can help you with building your own values, okay? And that's, you know, certain guidelines on how you evaluate the truth level, the integrity level of a movement, or say a news message, or a business idea, or a new token being issued, a new business idea coming into funding ICOs. And this is what I wanted to talk about with you guys today. That once this trust is regained, which we're looking at sort of the middle of February right now, where we probably got past the last retracement of Bitcoin, and with it also sort of the dip in trust. Then we're going to look at an environment that will allow so much money flow in, that the buying pressure of all coins will induce sort of raising courses. So right now is actually a really good time to buy, because most of these coins are undervalued, including Bitcoin. But what I would recommend you for the next week or two really is to look at the course of some of these tokens that you look at with Bitcoin or Ethereum values. So don't look at the US dollar equivalent, look at the exchange rate into Bitcoin and Ethereum, because this can give you a different view of whether this token is valued correctly, and will help you to discern things. So use these next 2 weeks to play around with this a little bit, and to familiarize yourself with this a little bit, because it will help you to see where you know, discrepancies are, and it will also take away the fear of the unknown for you. Okay, because when it comes to energies, especially emotional energies, your biggest enemy really is the fear of the unknown. You know, the ego mechanism to deal with change. All right, so yes, try to give yourself that space right now, and there's something that I've discovered on YouTube. It's a 24/7 live news channel for cryptocurrencies. All kinds of news are being displayed, new ICOs coming out. It's actually really cool. They have a very few subscribers only. I'm going to post the URL here in the edited version of the video. I really like it. You have to have strong nerves, you know, because it goes so fast. You know, and it's really just to get a feel for things. But in the last week, it really helped to get through some of the FUD, because, you know, here you had these messages from like Chinese government and Korean government and Indian government, and there, you know, and then you had all these news displayed how all the big companies are cooperating or beginning to implement blockchain based technologies and how they're going to prepare for their own tokens. And I'm like, wait a minute, you know, I mean, what are we buying into here? I mean, we have big corporations, you know, preparing for the cryptosphere, and yet everybody buys into these, like, you may have to tax all your crypto gains. Yeah, you will. Just accept that. You know, that's not something that should throw you into big fear, you know, of things. Yeah, so just to put this into the right perspective. So what I want to do here with talking about ICOs is give you a little bit of a sort of benchmarks or things that you can use to evaluate, you know, whether a ICO may be a good investment for you. When it comes to ICOs, in the past, these used to be these like awesome, you know, kind of like penny stocks, you know, opportunities to have, you know, 4-digit return of interest. And yes, many of us made a lot of money with ICOs last year, but towards the end of the year we could also see a new tendency, and that is that the prices in which the ICOs were released, they hit actually new lows as soon as the token was introduced to the big exchanges. And this is something that we have to continue observing, because there is, of course, in that state a possibility to manipulate the price. So a lot of people have gone away from ICOs towards the last quarter of last year, because it was actually cheaper to get a coin once they hit the exchanges than to buy them during the ICO stage. I expect that to change again. Also, just looking at the number of really cool business segments that are emerging right now, and I want to point your attention to business sectors such as energy distribution, content management, you know, like things that have to do with how, you know, the future of say maybe videos or knowledge databases such as Wikipedia, how they're going to be marketed in the future. Those are really cool segments to look in, as well as supply chains. This is a very cool use case for blockchain technology, and advertising. All these areas that have been highly centralized in the past can now sort of move into a place of more openness, of more larger reach, and less middlemen. This is really the spirit of decentralization, is to cut out the middleman and to make things more transparent. And what we call these technologies that actually help to do this for an entire market segment are disruptor technologies. Those are technologies that help to open up a market. Say, recently I've come across an ICO that does the redistribution of your cell phone, your unused cell phone minutes, you know, your unused cell phone bandwidth that you pay for, you know, and this could be fed back into the system and could be resold. You know, this may sound a bit technical right now, but if you get the idea behind this, then you see also what this can do for the market. It can create absolute market transparency. And if I can buy minutes somewhere on the blockchain for a fraction of what I need to pay for my own provider, which is basically how all the different cell phone providers, how they share their minutes, then you can see that this can be quite disruptive for these monopolized corporations. And so look out for that, because that's something that seems to be very conducive here for the whole crypto sphere, namely to implement these original values of the blockchain, which is no middleman, which is decentralized, meaning not located on one server, also based on truth and transparency and open source. These are 4 of the main characteristics that I see that have the most potential in the future. There will be a lot of companies who will basically translate their own centralized business within the blockchain, creating their own little sort of bubbles of centralized databases, and that's something that is not mean or non-integrous. It's just like literally holding on to the old system. So if you want to have a good sort of evaluation, then one of my tips, and this is coming from the vibratory quality of a business idea or a token or an ICO or a cryptocurrency or a protocol, then I would recommend you to look at these 3 things which can help you to weed out a few companies that they may make some money in the course of their existence, but they don't really support the overall spirit. And these 4 things are basically this: if you can, if you look at the white paper or the business purpose, and you can basically replace every time they use the word blockchain or decentralized application with database, then you know that this is kind of fake decentralized. It's a centralized system within, using the decentralized infrastructure, but it's still the same old. If there is no open source policy, meaning allowing you to see the communication between the developers, some of the code that is being improved or invented or written. If there is no sort of open door policy, and you detect that there's censorship, that there is stuff that is being repressed, that there is that it's not borderless, that it reduces it to a certain group of people or certain countries, or that it's sort of non-neutral, then I would say that this is something that should raise a red flag for you. And of course, the biggest thing is if this company or token or currency or whatever is promoting itself as intermediary of something, that should raise a red flag in you. These are the markers for your bullshit detector, that should come up for you, because then you know that you're basically dealing with the old system trying to mask itself as something innovative that it really isn't. But when it comes to ICOs and really looking at, sort of what kind of potential does this new company / this new idea or business idea have, I want to provide you here with a few things that you can look at. And this may sound a bit complicated, but it really isn't. For those of you who are business analysts or have done a little bit of research about business ideas before, this is normal. You'd always look at these things. But for those of you who are new to this and who really want to find out who are going to be the next big players here in this birthing state and evaluate which ICOs could be those that make you feel like you've really been there at the founding stage, And those are the kind of investments that you want to hodl. Those are the kind of investments, you know, those kind of tokens that you want to lock away on your hardware wallet, you know, and then look again, you know, maybe by the end of the year or in a couple of years from now and say, yes, you know, I paid 5 cents for this and now it's $50. You know, so how can you evaluate this? Here are a few markers for you. First of all, of course, you look at when you do your research with ICOs, and I'll give you a few websites here that you can look at where you can even get that information of who is doing an ICO, because ICOs usually don't happen within just a few days. They often now happen over the course of a couple of weeks, or some even a month. So what are the ongoing ICOs and what are the upcoming ICOs? I'm going to share some website ideas here for you. But here are the markers. So first, of course, you look at the whole idea. What's the idea? All right, so what is the product that they're having? So let's say you have a company that has a cool name and a cool website, you know, and then you need to look at their product, right? What is behind that? Now, some ICOs are not actual products. They are more protocols or provide an environment. So you're going to have to filter out what kind of application is this. Is this something that I could use? Is this something that will actually create a big demand for a lot of people, or is this a small area, like say, you know, like a new environment or new protocol for developers only? This can still be a really good investment opportunity, but I said this before, I would recommend you to only really invest or engage yourself in companies or business ideas that you can relate to, all right, that you can see, and this would be the second marker, that actually solve a problem, you know, that there's a real solution for something, for a practical problem. The third marker is, of course, what I've brought up here before we started talking about ICOs, and that is this even centralized or decentralized? Personally, I stay away from centralized applications. I don't care how big the name is or how great the marketing is, because it's really just a repetition of the old. And for me, the crypto market is the ability to manifest a new paradigm. So I'm looking at only real decentralized applications. Then number 4 is what is this the structure of this token? Okay, is this like an asset token? Like, do you get sort of a part of the asset of the company, kind of like a stock, or do you just fund something? Like, do you just provide, you know, funding for this business or the business idea? Or is this actually a utility token, meaning that, yes, you're funding and you may actually even get a certain amount of tokens, a certain asset class, but the token also has a use. I can use the token to buy something with it, or I can use the token to do something with it. The reason why this is important to look at is because it affects usually the market capitalization of an idea. So companies with applications that offer utility tokens usually have a higher market capitalization, a higher circulation, because they need more tokens out there so that people can actually, so that they can circulate, so that people can actually pay with it. It affects the price and the rise in the price of an ICO, or the potential rise of a price, in that when you have a higher or a larger distribution, when you have a higher circulation, that the prices usually don't rise that fast. Just so you know. However, on the long term, because those are utility tokens, if the product is a success and if the solution actually works, and this can become a huge big thing, because then you have a demand that is based on the use case and not so much a demand that is only based on trying to make gains in the cryptocurrency world. Then of course you need to look at number 5, you need to look at what is the market segment that they're trying to move in here, what are the competitors, what are some of these, what is the overall sort of situation in this market. A good golden rule for the future is, because we're still at this early stage, is to say, you know, you pick sort of your favorite in a certain market segment, and then you look for at least 1 or 2 competitors that are trying to get a foothold in that same segment. Because just like with, you know, with Coke and Pepsi, there's always space for not only the first, there's also space for the second. And there might even be space for the third, which may be the best solution, because not always the best solution becomes the most popular one. So keep yourself open, because you're really looking at entirely new market segments that are emerging here. So don't just go for your favorite. Diversify with at least, I would say, 1 competitor, if not 2. And then you need to look a little bit at the publications that these companies have that come out with ICOs, which are called white paper. And the white paper is basically sort of what used to be called the business concept in just sort of day-to-day business world. Here they usually give you the idea for the product, they give you the idea for the market segment, and also, you know, like maybe future corporations. So look at the corporations that a company is willing to make or that they're seeking to do, because in my personal value system, when a company that is just in the founding state allows themselves to actually go into synergy with others, that's usually a good indication for the integrity of the company. All right, so look at corporations. Look at down the road, you know, they also do predictions as to when they will launch the actual product that they have. Could be software, could be contracts. Anything is possible here. Do they actually work? All right, so continue to research that. You know, do they actually have a product out on the market? Some of them actually already have working products. So there's a lot of crypto companies that have fantastic products that already work. Then you want to look at number 8. Is this developer friendly? Okay, so is this something maybe that other companies can adapt to, that they can integrate? This is what developer friendly means. Is this, you know, like thinking of maybe apps, you know, that can be developed around the product, around this application? Because the more adaptability a product has, it's the same with ourselves in our own life, you know, the higher the chances that it succeeds. Then from the pure sort of investment standpoint, you want to look at the token supply. What is the maximum amount of tokens that they are going to put out at their ICO? Are there some tokens that they're going to hold back, that they're going to burn? There's certain procedures that you can read up in the basic conditions of their ICOs. And usually it's a good it's a good sign if a company is really sort of protective of their tokens, if they limit the amount of token supply, if they hold back some of the tokens for paying out employees, for instance. But at the same time, you have to look at the numbers too. You know, if the total market cap is only, like, say, just to say a number, $10,000, right? does not bode well for huge gains. So it's got to be in balance. Okay, so the higher the market cap that they're aiming for, the slower the movements in price. But if it's too small, then there is the danger of manipulation, or there's the danger of it just not reaching enough momentum, to be traded at the most common exchanges, or B, to even reach that sort of publicity level that it can be recognized. So some ICOs come out with a huge token supply just to make it into the top 100 of CoinMarketCap, because as soon as you reach sort of the 2-digit million range, then you're gonna be on the radar. And there are a lot of traders that only look at ICOs or cryptocurrencies that have more than 1 billion market cap. All right, many of the conservative traders look only at volume. All right, then you want to look at their roadmap, the timeline that they're proposing, so that you can evaluate how fast you could expect sort of a return of investment. And you also want to look at some of, like maybe if it's not an ICO, but if it's something that has just come out of an ICO, sort of what kind of gains, or ups and downs are already there. So if an ICO drops in prices, doesn't mean that it's a failure. It just means that when it hits the exchanges, it takes a little while to sort of to run itself warm. So it's important that you stay calm there. Number 12, this is a big one for me. Is this idea unique? Is this new? Is this filling in something that is not yet fully sort of covered, if you will? There are some market segments that you can make out. I mean, some of them you can't make up because you never really thought about this, but then there's market segments such as video distribution, content distribution, and so forth, that have not, and even social media, that have not yet, where the cards have not been dealt out yet. Okay, so this is the uniqueness of it. And is it a global? Is it globally accessible? Again, here this has to do with the decentralized and the aspect of an application. And when you look at the roadmap, just one tip: look at the stage that they're in with their adaptation. Because like I said, some companies already have working products, and some haven't even started developing their product yet. So when you read the white paper, really look at, is this even, is this just a brain fart, or is this something real? And last but not least, of course, you want to look at their integrity, complying with regulations. There is some two sort of big abbreviations in the crypto market, and that is a KYA, Know Your Investor, where people put you on a white list when you want to buy an ICO, and you have to be on this list first, because they want to know what country you're from and so forth. This has to do with some of the existing regulations, and I'm hoping that this will open up a little in the future, because some of the markets like America and Canada are kind of on the back end of that as of right now. Also GDPR, the protection of people's data and their privacy, those are two big movements here in 2018 as far as regulations is concerned. So when you read a white paper, look if they're actually having that on their radar and how they are planning on complying with those things. And then last but not least, of course, the scalability is a word that you find a lot in the crypto scene. And that has to do with, what is the ratio, between, being able to offer speed, low transfer cost, security, and how does this sort of, you can't have all of them at once, so something has to give. Try to find out, what this company that you're looking at or this product that you're looking at, what they emphasize. So if they emphasize speed, for instance, you've got to understand that this means that they may have to make concessions or compromises with their security. All right, so just keep this in the back of your mind. I know this is a lot, but hold this in mind when you're evaluating ICOs. And the very last point, number 16, is how does the company present itself? Does the website look okay? Do they have a good team? All right, this actually should have been at number 1, because for me, often this expresses the spirit of the company. And as you know, as an energy coach, I'm literally looking at the integrity level of the founders and the executives, all right, and calibrating the entire ICO, the entire company based on that, and also maybe not so much just their technical knowledge and experience in the game, but also sort of their VIP rating, right? Are those big names? Because that does play a role nowadays. Yeah, sorry, this took a long time here to go through this list, but it's it would be a course in itself, to show you all this. But here is the recommendation for getting this kind of information, so that you can actually do research and do your due diligence and find out about all these factors that I brought up. My recommendations for websites are coinschedule.com, trackico.io, and icobench.com. And my personal favorite here is ICO drops. This to me is like just how I process information, the easiest one to sort of visually adapt to. Okay, so it shows you exactly how long the ICO is already going for, or when it's going to be, and it doesn't have too much advertising in there. And you can see really well what this company is. You can click on the company, and then you get a little bit of info. It gives you, when the token sale starts, what their goal is. It has a link for the white paper, the link to the website, and so forth. I really, really like this website here for tracking ICOs. All right, so this is my personal tip for you. Those of you who maybe not quite that far yet with, like literally researching ICOs, you may want to do something that I've actually recommended quite a few people last week, and that is go to meetups, go to crypto meetups, see if there is a local a crypto group that you can go to conferences. At coinschedule.com is a wonderful list of all the Bitcoin and blockchain conferences that are going on around the world. And even if you don't know yet, what you're going to do, but breathe the air. I think I've said this a few times this week. If I were 30 years younger and I didn't have 3 children, I'd try to get into some of these companies, even as a cleaning lady, just to be able to breathe that air, just to be able to be part of this amazing opportunity that is growing there. And I would take, of course, tokens as payments, but this is just my personal enthusiasm. Yeah, so guiding you through this here for this week, this is what I would spend my time with. My concluding energy tips for this week. dealing with collective crypto energies is, number one, don't overreact. You know, stay calm. Use your inner BS detector, you know, your heart's navigator. Do maybe a little bit of refining your own values, you know, and what you're looking for in those investments that you are making. You know, it's not just about how much money can you make. There's always money that can be made. You can make money with illegal stuff too. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right thing for you. So ask yourself the question, how do I want to make this money? You know, and how do I want to feel about the company that I'm supporting? I may actually be interested in becoming a part of their community. Those are things that I would explore this week. And and also give yourself some space, you know, to make mistakes. All right. You know, many of you are still struggling with the exchanges and the wallets and the software and the fees and so forth. All this, guys, is going to be different in 3 to 6 months. There's going to be great wallet software, great new exchanges coming out, and some of which are in the ICO or post-ICO stage. So put out your tentacles there, your feelers, and you know, feel this out for yourself. Don't buy into FUD. Expect volatility for the next 2 weeks at least. One more retracement of Bitcoin, and then by the middle of February we're looking at new highs, or beginning new highs. This is it here from my end for the Crypto Spiritual Weekly. Turned out a little longer than I planned. I hope I didn't lose you. In the edited version, you'll get all the links for the recommendations. Once more, thank you for watching. Hope to see you here next week at 3 p.m. again, simply because we have the 21 days breaking through your matrix programming. If you're interested in this, has nothing to do with crypto, and yet it does. And then check out my YouTube channel at transCODES and watch those videos there. Don't forget to subscribe. Good to see you guys. Have a good week. Bye bye.